What's up, collective? I gotta shuffle my cards real quick because I'm working and I don't have my camera holder, so I gotta put the phone down to shuffle my cards. So hold on. I did shuffle my other three decks already. It's just you don't have to sit there and listen to me shuffle a million decks of cards. See, I already shuffled them already. So what I was thinking, I was contemplating, meditating. The premonition I had is you realizing all the stuff you're like, you set goals for yourself, right? And you're working on yourself, and you realize why it's not coming in, or it's just trickling in like rain. You know how it drizzles? You get a raindrop very far and in between, very sporadic, and then that's how your at least that's how you perceive your blessings to have been coming in, and then you're wondering, it's like, well, why is it delayed? And then you realize you start getting that, your intuition, you start getting downloads, as they say, as they explain it, and you realizing where your energy is being dispensed, like you're absorbing everybody. It's like people are exchanging energies with you, like you're a super empath, like you got some kind of supernatural abilities, and your people are coming around you. You're realizing why people are needing to be around you, like real clingy, not even codependent, just super fucking clingy, and they're taking energy from you while while they're giving you their nasty energy, and you're dispensing all your energy to everybody. So where do you need to set boundaries, better boundaries? And I'm not saying stop working, like keep working, like you work hard. Like this is somebody who works hard, like does theories and does due diligence and does a lot of studying to be the guru of their expertise, whatever that may be, whether it's to be the top merchant or the public speaker or anything in corporate America, whatever it is that you specialize in, you want to be the best at it. You want to be the go-to person at it, and you're realizing it's like, well, what is you asking the right questions at this point? It's like, what can I do to make my efforts more efficient? Okay. Okay, like I said, I already shuffled all these cards, and I may shuffle them a little bit more before I use them because it's force of habit. So let's see. You got, I don't know how to pronounce, well, Bhuvaneshwarvi. Look at this guy. This guy look like he has pearls of wisdom, deep, ancestral, in depth, thousands of years of knowledge and emotion and intellect. Look at the ocean. Look, he's like right in the middle of the ocean. Like there's nothing, not much get past this person. This person's deeply intuitive. This person is, he's wise. He doesn't let the left hand know what the right hand is doing. This person is very in sync with the moon. Like look at that little bit of red back there. You know, I think this person operates from a place of love, but it doesn't mean he doesn't show tough love. It doesn't mean he's mushy. It just means he learned from a lot of experience, life experience. And I feel like that's this person needing to set boundaries. You know, they're learning now where they could be better. Not so, don't fixate on so much of what you're doing wrong, but where you can be better. But I'm still going to read it. I have to read that. Read what that means. Because some of the cards I know like the back of my hand. And some of them, I still got to read it. So, hold on. You can look at that while I look it up. I think what I want to do with this channel is be the voice of reason. Always listen to reason. So this is a leader of space and infinite possibilities. You have learned the art of creating space and are experiencing the cosmos that exists inside of you. And this energy comes to you in deep meditation, in profound nature, in oceans, and in silence. Her stillness guides you to enter deeper into the cosmic web of potentials that exist for you in the present moment. So you continue to make time for whatever brings you to the point of total stillness. So when you get those cheese and cracker breaks from work, like those 5 minutes that you just take some tea and some crackers, you don't have to do that specifically. I'm just saying, like those little 5 minute mental breaks, and you think about, what puts you in stillness. Where do you go in that 5 minutes of decompression? That's where your true self resides. And know that you are not just part of the earth, but the earth is also a part of you, and you are lovingly held by her presence. Wonderful. Now, that card came from this deck, the Work Your Light deck. What's the psychology behind this person? Like, what brought this person to this point, or these people to this point? Yeah. The answers lie in the moment. Stay awake, be present, and stay faithful to your observations and feelings. I'll put that right there. These are my two favorite crystals, you guys. The person who makes that Mystic Mondays deck makes these cards for crystals, like over 80 different crystals. And this one is the rose quartz, This is about love. And it's another reader that said, Victoria the Medium, and she said, when you operate from your heart space, you tend to make better logical decisions with your mind. And I feel like that ties into this overall energy. This is a leader of space and possibilities. So you gotta block out, learn when you set boundaries. It's not about arguing with people and like talking to them some kind of a way. It's just stop. Know your limits. Know, like, when it stops making you feel good and it starts making you feel lethargic or fatigue or something. That's when you draw the line with that and do what makes you feel good. What's this other one? Isn't that pretty with those blue and a green? I carry these with me a lot. Turquoise. And this is like a very popular crystal, especially in my culture. The Indian cultures, we use these a lot, and it's good for inflammation. It's good for many different things. It creates balance. Tranquil is about peace, and it ties you into, it's like it creates a good balance between practical and spiritual nature. That's what I want to say. Okay. So I'm moving all of these out of my way. So in matters of career, these are my two favorite decks for career because they're so female empowerment. Let's see, you want to start with these. What do you need to know? Like, let's amplify on what we just learned already. If the answers lie in the moment, if you figure out where you need to create space, where you need to take those moments, create those moments of stillness. Look at that. That's where your next inspiration is going to come from. Because when you sit and you're able to think and ponder, you can hear God talking to you. That's the Ace of Wands. That's all about fertility and creativity, even pregnancy. But this is really like when you want to talk about business, or just do yourself over again. How can you recreate yourself? How can you grow into the person who can achieve the things you're trying to accomplish? So with God's help in hand, it helps you see things from a different perspective. This is the Hangman. You don't have to stay stuck on outdated beliefs or any, like, your way of doing things. Like, follow your intuition. I looked at this card a lot of times and never seen that eyeball right there and that door right there. And that represents your third eye, and that's a portal. And then you look at the yellow. The yellow represents a lot of abundance, right? You're not like everybody else. If you look at the illustration, look at this woman. She has silver gray hair like an elder, but clearly she's a young girl. She moves to the beat of her own drum. But the Hangman represents seeing things from a different perspective. It's like this person sits stuck, but I don't feel like this person is stuck. I feel like this person is learning how to listen, and just receive inner wisdom. It's learning how to trust her intuition, learning how to not take the opinions of others, set boundaries with that. You only should be relying on the Most High anyway when you want to know something. It's okay to take certain people can say something that's spot on. And I feel like looking at it from a different perspective of that was from the Most High. The Most High used that person as a resource to help me learn what I need to learn. Patience. Like that crystal, that turquoise crystal, embraces patience. This is the Three of Wands. So this is virtuous. Being virtuous. How you ever get anything done without no patience, right? And I like how this card is like bluish greenish, just like the turquoise, and it's talking about patience. But you are embarking on a new adventure. You are starting something new with the Ace of Wands, the Three of Wands. Like, you come in with a lot of fire energy, and you're going more spiritual. You're going less tangible. This is for somebody who's always been more of a practical, down to earth type of person. Somebody who builds, who's diligent, and they build with their hands. They work well with their hands, and they have a strong mind. Even can be considered stubborn in some instances, but this is a person who knows the value and understands quality work, strong work ethic. And this is a person who is starting to learn things, starting to get a lot of premonitions and intuition, and is starting to learn how to use that third eye instead of not only your common sense. But you have to realize that just because you're relying on your intuition and you have spiritual abilities, it does not mean that you don't have to use your common sense. So this is somebody who is amplifying with using their common sense. You're going with what feels good, not with what makes sense. Common sense, right? So this person is starting to hear God talking to them, and it's really strengthening their spirituality, because you have to be spiritual to have a relationship with God. There's no two ways about it. And he's sharpening this person's third eye so that they can see things in a more in-depth way. And I get that from this. So you may be around people who you might have been a person who relied on your own work ethic, and people know you're notorious for that. Like, this gives me Taurus energy, like the Hierophant, or somebody who's traditional. And it's that energy. You don't have to be a Taurus, but it's just the energy of somebody who's very traditional, or a Capricorn, somebody who's very traditional and practical, very grounded, very down to earth. They don't operate very much from their emotional state. It takes them off balance when they're way too emotional. But this is somebody who's wise beyond their years, who has those patience, that will take the necessary time to learn and build, with that work ethic. They rely very heavily on their work ethic. And now they're starting to go spiritual. Perhaps they're starting to do things a little different, and people's opinions are starting to get in the way, and it's starting to bother this person. And then once they establish 1 to 2 conversations or 1 to 2 premonitions with the Most High, it's like now God is talking to them and telling them, you single me out. when you want counsel. There's two types of complaining. There's complaining to the Most High, and then there's complaining to people. And everybody has an opinion. It's not a right or wrong answer. But this person is like, I'm not just fixating on myself. I feel like the things that I've been experiencing on a more spiritual level or higher velocity, it's got to be something to that. And then you're trying to block out people's opinions because people are accidentally eyeing your experiences without meaning to. Like they may be giving you good advice, but it's not the best advice for where you're trying to go and what you're trying to do. So I think that advice comes from the card is, setting boundaries and just learning to go within and trust what you're feeling to make more practical decisions. The Queen of Wands is somebody who's, first of all, she's beautiful, but I don't think this is about her beauty. It's about her inner beauty, not her outer beauty. When you're beautiful inside, you're going to be beautiful on the outside. And this is somebody who's deeply spiritual, who's a fighter, who's a go-getter, somebody who does not tolerate foolery, no nonsense. And when you're embodying that Queen of Wands energy, it's somebody who's mature, somebody who's wise and basically strong in business. You're getting stronger in your expertise because you're learning to operate from that third eye. So you're eliminating a lot of pitfalls. This is somebody who went entrepreneurial. They went from corporate America to entrepreneurial. That's what I feel like this is. And this is why this is why this is so important and so imperative that you can't take too many people's opinions because these are people who know corporate America. They don't know entrepreneur. So now you're networking from a different standpoint. You got to go with different resources now. You're going within. It's like, yeah, other entrepreneurs is great, but the Most High is going to have to guide me through this because this is the unknown. This is not traditional for me. This feels spontaneous. This feels foolish. This feels immature, but I have to do it. I'm called to do it. I don't know where it's going to take me, but now I got to trust God because you probably got laid off or probably had to take a pay cut or something, and it's just not happiness. And it was the thing that set a fire under your ass to just get you out of being complacent in what you've been doing for maybe 10 to 15 years, 20 years, whatever. It can even be 5 years. But the point is, you knew that you wanted to do something different. You knew that it was time to do something different, and now you got the inspiration to do it. And it works. This is like a yes, a big ass yes. This is the 10 of Cups. Like you're going to be so rejoiced and you're going to be glad that you followed your intuition, that third eye. You're going to be excited about where it's going to take you because whenever there's a 10 as a completion, it's a new start somewhere. So this new beginning for you, whoever and all of who I'm speaking to, I wish you well in your endeavors, but it's a yes. And look what's on the bottom of the cards. The King of Wands along with the Queen of Wands. So that could be, inspiration. This can be a balance of your masculine and feminine energy first and foremost. I think it's a balance of your masculine and feminine energy. If you taking accountability and taking that leap of faith, for what you're not comfortable with and what you need to learn as to how you're going to go about changing it. And then you're in your you go right back to your feminine energy after you receive it, the premonition to know what to do next. And it makes you show up in business, in health and wealth, and in family, even in your personal relationships like this. People know they can depend on you. People are going to depend on you. You're going to be so well seasoned. You're going from a queen to a king. Even meeting other people who are a lot like you. That's a counterpart too, a king and a queen. So it could be a combination of both. Just be patient, and you were patient. You have pearls of wisdom. Your ancestors and the Most High approves. You know, it's nothing but wands on this table when it's not water. These are the only two water cards is the Hangman, which represents Piscean energy, and the Ten of Cups. So that's a big ass yes. And I'm proud of you if no one else says it. And that fire energy just illustrates this point even more. It answers, you know, stay awake, be present, and stay faithful to your observation and your feelings. Period. Okay, I gotta charge my phone. I'll be back.